is an historically significant airplane. I hope you don't mind if I sit down here for just a couple of minutes. But on behalf of the Minnesota wing of the Commemorative Air Force, I'd like to share with you a unique part of American history, the Red Tail story. Part of that story includes an I repeat, they were designed to prove that black men could not fly. They were so wrong. Black men could fly, and they could fight. The Tuskegee Airmen proved it. They became one of the most successful groups of pilots in World War II. You can see the Red Tail coming around from this low-level strafing path. Initially, the Tuskegee Airmen were not allowed to escort bombers and were sent on low-priority missions, strafing targets on the ground. This mission kept them from finding enemy aircraft and scoring victories against the enemy, a further effort to prove they couldn't do the job. If you look at the Mustang, you see the minimal frontal area of the P-51, which gave it its great speed. Now, if you were driving a locomotive in Italy or Germany, that was the last thing you wanted to see was one of these things coming at you. Flying the C-model Mustangs, the Tuskegee Airmen destroyed over 125 trains and 600 boxcars. That's one of the reasons this airplane is special as it is today. The 1944, the C model was the oldest and poorest Mustang in Europe, and as a result it was handed down to the Tuskegee Airmen. They flew everyone else's cast-off airplanes. Visibility was bad, the fuel system had problems, it never had a habit of not recovering from spins. But the Tuskegee Airmen had overcome many obstacles and earning the right to fight for their country, and flying cast-off equipment was just another challenge. In addition to strafing, the airmen performed bombing missions carrying two 500-pound bombs on their P-51C Mustangs. Diving from high altitude to avoid ground fire, the Tuskegee Airmen destroyed over 80 motor transport airmen as their escorts. That's why you see the words "by request" painted on the fuselage of this P-51C. Those words, "by request," were the ultimate honor the white bomber pilots paid to the Tuskegee Airmen. As escorts, the Tuskegee Airmen destroyed over 400 airplanes. Is this Ed? Is Ed flying the plane today? Ed Shipley? Who's flying? Oh, John Train's okay. Ed's going to fly it in the Heritage flight, correct? Ed's flying, okay. Nearly 1,000 black pilots received segregated training at Tuskegee, while over 10,000 black maintenance personnel trained at Chanute Field in Illinois. 445 pilots and their crews operated as segregated combat units in Europe, the Mediterranean, North Africa. 66 Tuskegee Airmen gave their lives and 32 were captured as POWs. The airmen were awarded over 850 medals, including the Presidential Unit Citation, the highest award that can be given a military unit. This is a story of incredible courage and patriotism. Tuskegee Airmen were willing to serve and die for a country not willing to serve them. In reality, the airmen fought and won two battles, one against racism and one against fascism. They were credited with the double victory, victory at home and victory abroad. The success of the Tuskegee Airmen led to the integration of the armed forces and eventually the equal rights movement has forever changed the fabric of American society. The P-51C Mustang Tuskegee Airmen has been restored and is operated by volunteers of the Minnesota wing of the Commemorative Air Force. The aircraft operates as a special program known as the Red Tail Project. The Red Tail Project displays the aircraft at air shows throughout the country to honor the Tuskegee Airmen and tell this untold story. The project also conducts an educational program using the Tuskegee Airmen as living proof that perseverance, dedication, and patriotism do in fact lead to success. The project's goal is to inspire youth to utilize their talents in becoming productive, community-minded citizens. And we hope that you're enjoying watching the Tuskegee Airmen P-51C. Exactly what he's going to do. Hey, here comes the Tuskegee Airmen P-51C. How about giving them a great big wave? They can't hear you applaud until they're out of the plane, but they can sure see you wave. And that was pretty. Oh, Don, nicely done. Hard to believe that P-51 was an airplane that was designed by North American primarily for export. And one of the North American pilots in one of his